Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Caniel. I'm the CEO of Learn, and this is my May message out to the community. I have to tell you that it's really exciting because I think we can see the finish line for this marathon that is the school year 22-23. It's been quite a year. It seems like September's like decades ago, not just 8-9 months ago. So it's gone by quickly, and yet it seems so far away. Needless to say, during the course of the year, our team has continued to do amazing work, and I encourage you to take a look at our newsletter to get an idea as to what they've been up to and what's still on the agenda for the remaining weeks before the end of the school year. I want to highlight also that as I speak, we're offering a new service. It's the group exam review program that's running through the month of May. And in a matter of a week or two, we filled it up to capacity to about 550 students approximately, which is really a testament to the fact that there's a need or an expressed need for this kind of a review. It also brings to mind a conversation I had recently with someone about why we're even doing this. We're preparing them for exams, and what do these exams really tell us? Now, before I get into that part of it all, as long as we do have them, I think it's important that we prepare the students for the exams. However, I do question the validity of these exams, generally these high-stakes year-end exams. I wonder just what they really tell us. It's hard, again, to understand why in education we continue to ignore research. Research has basically told us that there's not a whole lot of value to these year-end exams. First of all, we have to ask ourselves, what are we really testing? You know, as often as not, it's the retention of facts. It's the ability to do calculations and the sort that, they're important. I'm not denying any value to it, but we have less and less need of so many of these details. So we have a limited assessment of knowledge and skills. We're neglecting things like critical thinking, creativity, and so on and so forth. And so we don't have a truly comprehensive assessment of a student's ability. So we're just looking at one of those things, or a few of the things that they're able to do. The other thing is, when we look at these exams, we see how many students are stressed and feel anxious about the whole process. I remember myself, coming to year-end exams and feeling a great deal of anxiety. So much was always riding on this, and as you hit secondary 4 and secondary 5, the stakes are even higher. So, when you're under stress, do you perform at your best? So it can create mental health problems, physical problems for the kids. And so I'm wondering if it provides an accurate assessment of their abilities. The other thing, too, is to consider is that exams really do provide an advantage to those students who have access to more support than the students who are less favored. For example, parents who can afford private tutors. I know we offer a tutorial service, but there are some parents who can afford a private tutorial service that runs even more often than what we're able to offer. And that creates some disparity. Then there are other kids who have to basically get on the bus and head right home afterwards, don't get that added support at school. So the level field, or the playing field, is not always level, is what I mean to say. Of course, we're also looking at a narrow curriculum. What happens, obviously, I did it when I was a teacher, and I know it still goes on, is that as we come towards the end of the year, we're teaching to the test. We're preparing our students for the year-end exams because, whether we like it or not, teachers and schools are evaluated on how students perform on these high-stakes year-end exams. So rather than teaching a full broad range of subjects and topics and developing competencies and skills, we're, as teachers and educators, very often narrowing the curriculum and really just focusing on what we believe will be important on the exam. Remember, every student always asks, is this important? Which was code for, is this going to be on the exam? So yeah, we're putting a narrow curriculum into place, and that's what we're doing with our exams. The other thing too is we put a lot of unnecessary pressure on the students. Do we really need to be doing this? If we had formative assessment during the course of the year, and with smaller, valuable types of assessment, it would be really, I think, much more meaningful and would be revealing of the students' abilities, their particular position on the learning curve. So I think we would create a lot of unnecessary pressure. We've already seen how if you issue the same exam to students in September, and even though they may have gotten 90s in the June exam, very often they'll struggle to pass the exam in September, this very same exam. So quite frankly, I question a lot of this. Our new Minister of Education, Monsieur Drainville, has talked about putting into place an Institut d'Éducation in Quebec. I hope that at the very top of the list of things that this body will review and examine is the whole question of assessment and evaluation. No educational reform is viable or workable if we don't start off by having very clear ideas to how we're going to assess and evaluate our students. So just a word of advice, Mr. Drainville, focus on assessment and evaluation before heading into it. Our last educational reform got bogged down because of that. I think maybe it should become the starting point into it all. Obviously, we have to look at alternative assessments and various options that exist for our students. We're entering a whole new phase. Artificial intelligence, generative AI is in place, and it's going to be more and more of a factor. So time to really rethink a lot of this. Longer message this month, but I think it's an important topic. If you have any thoughts or comments and you want to share them with me, please go right ahead. I'm always anxious to hear back from you on any of these things. This is my opinion, and it's worth whatever it's worth at this moment. Thanks, everyone. Hey, we'll see you in June, the last month of our school year. I hope that everything goes well and you stay healthy and be well.